Happy Nikke second anniversary. Haku here with a ranking video. I'm going to be ranking the characters. What am I ranking them on? Well, on Discord I called it the breedability rating, but really I'm going to be ranking them by the characters. How much I enjoy the characters, like the characters, all of that. It is kind of the breedability ranking, to be real with you. But I am doing it by how much I like the characters, not by gameplay, because gameplay-wise, there's already a lot of lists out there by people who have paid more attention and put more time into thinking about that than I have. So I'm only going to, I'm going to lay down some, basic ground rules here before I get into it, but I'm going to try to keep the intro short. It's just for a video like this. I feel like you need at least some background information. I've been really enjoying Nikke lately. The second anniversary event's been really good, and I've been playing for 7 months. So I want to get that out of the way so you know that my ranking is subject to change just because my opinions change sometimes. Maybe I can do this again at the 2.5 anniversary, but I started playing a little bit before the 1.5 anniversary. During the Bay event, I think what really put Nikke on my radar was seeing all the art on Twitter of Elig, and then subsequently of Bay when she was coming out. So that's around when I got into the game, and I've generally been doing the dailies while I'm editing videos. On top of that, because I only really have the chance to do the dailies, I don't have a ton of time all the time. I'm only on chapter 10 or 11 of the main story. So know that once I do more of the main story, once I go back and look at the cutscenes for some of the older events, that's probably going to affect my ranking, because some of the events, like the beach event we got recently, was so good for Viper and Sakura's characters. So again, once I see more scenes, my opinions are subject to change. Now, to get some rules out of the way for this ranking, I'm only going to be ranking the characters that I have, which are over 2/3 of them. And I'm also, since I'm ranking them by character, if it's an alt like the beach version of Neon, I'm just counting it as the one character. It's just Neon. So that's the way I'm counting that. And also, like I said, I have over 2/3 of the characters. Hopefully by the 2.5 anniversary, maybe I'll have basically all of them. I am also not going to count the event characters from Chainsaw Man or any of the collaborations, and I'm not going to count the mass-produced Nikke because they don't really have characters. I mean, Grave is kind of an alternate actual character of one of the mass-produced Nikke, so I hope we get more of those in the future, but generally they don't really have their own characters, so I'm not counting them. And that's about it rule-wise, I think. Also, I just pulled, yesterday, I just logged in today, you can see all the notifications. Yesterday, I just was trying to pull for Grave, did 20-some, and I ended up with getting Noise and Snow White, but I'm not going to include them on the ranking because even though I know Snow White a bit from the main story, I just don't know enough. I literally just pulled them, so those two aren't included. So without, further ado, intro's long enough already, let's get into, before I get into ranking all the ones I love, because I think all the characters are really good, there are two characters that even were I in the world of Nikke, this is kind of a list of characters I would most get in a potentially inappropriate for work relationship with, were I the commander. There are two who, even if they came on to me, I would just be no, not interested. So let's go for those two at the bottom before we get into all of the actual good ones. At the very bottom is Emma. I genuinely, again, I don't want to be super negative, I don't want to hate on the artist or anything, but yeah, the art for Emma just looks really bad to me. It's her body's facing one direction, but her head's facing another, and her facial features look like they're facing a different direction from her head. It just looks really off-putting, and I really dislike her design. On top of her design being kind of scary and horrifying to look at. Again, it's kind of I don't like Boichi's manga designs. So it kind of reminds me of that, in being just really off-putting and not good looking. On top of that, her personality is just a really generic one, like the super bad at cooking stuff that you see a billion times in anime and anime related stuff. And like, not only is it a generic personality, but it's kind of an annoying one. I just really just one character that I do not like. I think Emma drastically needs a redesign like Robbie got, because Robbie is one of the like main characters on all the promotion and everything. And Robbie's original design, I have seen it, is like, wow, yeah, they really needed that redesign. I think Vesti looks all right. I'm pretty sure all of this squad was done by the same designer. I think Vesti looks all right. I don't think Unhwa looks that. I don't think Unhwa looks that bad. I have seen the alt Unhwa design, and the alt design is way better. I think they should actually change her to the alt design. But Unhwa's not that bad, Vesti doesn't seem that bad, but original Rappi did not look good, and Emma looks really awful. Next is Ether, who, like, looks fine. I think she looks great. I think she looks really good. She's just, her personality is not attractive. I don't like her character, her role in the story. I think she's kind of a bad person, and it's like, one of those, they try to play her as in like, oh, the moral gray area, but she's actually not that bad. But no, like, I legitimately would not. These are the only two Nikke that I would not. Now getting into the actual good Nikke, the bottom place for me, 67th place, is going to be Noah. So this is, you know, top 69 since I showed the other two. But yeah, I just am not a huge fan of her personality, and the design for a lot of the pilgrims to me is just a little bit much. There's just a lot of just armor, mechanical parts on top, and I actually think I prefer a lot of the Nikke that are just wearing kind of like normal clothes. 66th is Drake, and she's another one of those that just kind of has a lot going on with the design. On top of that, I really wanted to like her more, but her character really is just the whole villain comedic shtick, and that's kind of all she has going on. And for some characters, they have kind of like a comedy gag that's the central point of their character, but there's more deeper stuff going on. But for me, I've been through all of Drake's like personal character stuff, and it's just kind of been a bit bland to me. That's one of the things with the personal like Nikke character support stories, whatever you want to call them. Some of them are like really deep character work. Some of them are really, you know, romantic, a little lewd, and it's like, okay, both of those are nice. Sometimes it's a bit of both. Some are really funny, but they also get that romance in there or get the character work in there. And then some of them, I finished the 10th one, or 5th one technically, I guess. I finished the 5th one once you get to rank 10, and I'm like, that was it? 65th is Biscuit, and I don't know, I guess she eats dog food if you're into that, but I don't know. She's again kind of a character that I went through all of her story and I'm like, okay, there's not really much of anything here, in my opinion. And again, design-wise, physically, again, she is just kind of dog girl, and that's about it. 64th is Diesel, and I feel like this one might be kind of controversial because she is used in a lot of the marketing, but to me, compared to some of the others, I'm like, ooh, this is a charm point for this character, or this is a charm point for this character, different things that I like. But then I get to Diesel and I'm just like, she's kind of just an anime girl, and that's it. That's kind of her only thing. She's just an anime girl. She's very bland. I think her story was really emotional and really good. But even as good as her story was, when it comes to how much I like her as a character, she is very, I say this often in my videos, she's a very tap water and white bread character. There's not really much flavor there. On top of that, the name Diesel to me is just kind of a little, I don't know, a little off-putting. I don't really like the name that much. 63rd is Laplace, who is alright. Like, again, I don't think any of the characters that I'm actually ranking beyond the bottom two are bad. It's just compared to some of the others have like things that make me really like them. But Laplace's design and character is kind of just whatever. She's kind of the counterpart to her squad mate Drake, where Drake kind of just had the one-note villain character and Laplace has the one-note hero character. And there's, again, like, people might, if they really like her, take offense to me saying that, but again, it just feels like there wasn't much there character-wise for me. And the only thing that I really like about her is every time the voice actress goes, "But oh boy," because of course I have the language in Japanese. But yeah, that's kind of the only thing I like. I think it's adorable whenever she says that. 62nd place is Sugar, and I actually really like Sugar. It's just that all the little stories and scenes I've seen with her are very much kind of, she's an epitome of that's it character, where I want so much more, but everything I've seen so far just leaves me like, that's it? 61st is my hottest take so far. Two, like, in my defense, I just pulled Scarlet recently, so I haven't actually had her for very long. But also, the thing that gets me with Scarlet is that her physical appearance and her way of speaking, 10 out of 10. Oh my gosh, I love the way she looks. Her, like, design with the sword and everything is so cool. I love the way she speaks, but the only thing she ever talks about is alcohol. That is literally it. There is nothing else. And if you have ever, I'm sure you've had family members or friends or people you've been in relationships with who only talk about alcohol, and that is just one of the most annoying things. And that is, so far for me, all that Scarlet has. Like, obviously there's some pain from the past there, of course, but, you know, literally every single scene, support, whatever, is all just about alcohol, and that is it. That is the only thing going on. 60th for me is Sin, and honestly, I haven't had her for that long either. All of the prison characters are kind of just eh. So I don't have Quincy quite yet. I'm really, really close to unlocking her, but, you know, I already have Guilty. I think Guilty, to me, I prefer to Sin, and Sin to me is just, you know, physically pretty good design. I like the design. The style's pretty nice. But personality-wise, all the prison characters are pretty meh to me. 59th is Dala, and Dala's a character that sometimes, I'll be honest, I forget I even have. She is, again, just another character that, maybe it's because I haven't seen that many scenes with her yet, but she is just kind of whatever to me. 58th place is Eunhwa, which is, again, another character. I think her personality's solid. I actually don't think her design's that bad looking. It took me a long time to even notice that the crotch area was completely open on her design until I saw, I think it was just some fan art or something, where it was front-facing Eunhwa, and I was like, whoa, I have never seen completely front-facing Eunhwa before, I don't think. So that one kind of hit me as a shock because I had never noticed that about her design at all. But yeah, you know, I like her. I do think that the alt design is better though. Let me go see if I can pull up the alt design for you. Here's the alt design for Eunhwa, and let me tell you, I prefer this one. Like, the original design is still really good, but if they switch to this design, I think it would definitely be an improvement. Again, it feels so disrespectful to the artist to be like, hey, we need to redesign all of the characters from the squad, but, you know, Rappi desperately needed it, and I feel like the other three might, I mean, maybe not Vesti, but I think that Eunhwa doesn't need it, but could benefit from it, and Emma desperately needs a redesign, like, really badly. Hers looks really bad, I'll be honest. 57th is Quiri, and I swear to you, I swear I'll have more to say about some of these characters soon, but Quiri's just another one of those that's kind of forgettable. Even though I do like all of the ACPU characters, I think the ACPU characters are generally pretty good. 56th is Kilo, and I feel like typically I would maybe like her more. Again, this might sound bad to say, but I feel like if I had started playing the game with Japanese voices, because I started with English voices for the first while, I think I maybe would have liked Kilo more. But while most of the English voices were great back when I did have it on English, there were a few that I wasn't a huge fan of, and Kilo's during the Crown event where Crown was introduced, I just was not really a big fan of the, like, vocal fry Valley Girl kind of inflection going on. I wasn't a big fan of that, and so generally that kind of, like, made a bad first impression of Kilo for me, and I think that I still haven't been able to get over that first impression, but her design is generally pretty solid outside of that. Again, I don't know what could have been done to make me like her character more. Also, her character in the Crown event, I remember just being like, Crown is clearly so much better, but also Chime. I was like, why are we getting Kilo instead of Chime? Chime is like way better than Kilo. So, you know, I think just the original event that she was introduced in just did not start her off on the best foot for me, and that kind of hasn't worn off when it comes to my opinion of the character. 55 is Balorta, and I think she's another character that was good. I liked her, like, scenes and everything when I was going through the character stuff. I just think that maybe she's another one that could benefit from an SSR alt. But yeah, she's just another character that's pretty good. 54 is Anne, and I'll be real, I would feel kind of guilty, you know what I mean? I just feel really sad in every scene with her. It's really pretty depressing, like most of Nikke, pretty depressing. But then they give her the like fattest dump truck ever when you see her from behind, and it's like, okay, the behind image and the before image are very, very, very different. But yeah, she's a good character that I would feel horribly, horribly guilty being in a commander relationship with if this was a game where you had like legitimate romance options. 53rd is Delta, and honestly, I have not a single bad thing to say. I've already seen the blowjob scene. I think that everything about her is pretty great. It's just that other characters are even better than that. I think, again, she could maybe benefit from an SSR alt. She could benefit from a little bit more attention. 52nd is Folkwang, and Folkwang physically extremely attractive. I first saw her just as an NPC character during the Bay event, and I was like, oh my god, I need to pull this character. She is so hot. She's so attractive. And then I did pull the character, and I went through all of her scenes, and she is maybe, out of all of the characters, either her, Senti, honestly, the epitome of, or not Senti, either her or Litter. Why is Leader pronounced Litter by the voice actors? I don't know. But one of either her or Litter is the epitome of, that's it. 51st is Coco. Not too much to say again. She's just good. Not the best, like 50 better characters, but she's just good. I think she's a very funny character. Haku coming in with another blazing hot take with Red Hood in 50th place. Gameplay-wise, best character very easily. No other character even comes close to me, personally, gameplay-wise. She's completely broken. But character-wise, she's just alright. I mean, she is very attractive, but just alright to me. I put her on in 49th, and honestly, another character that's very hot physically. Design kind of has a lot going on. Another one of those pilgrims with a lot going on, design-wise. And though her design is great, her character is also solid. It's good, it's just not, like, it doesn't stand out a ton to me. But I do really like her on. 48 is Milk, and again, I think she's really attractive physically, and her personality is really good. Her character's really good. I just don't have a lot more to say than just the basics like that. 47, I actually think we're getting into characters where, like, we're at the point where we still have 4 dozen characters to go, and any of them could reasonably, like almost any of them could reasonably be number 1, because Viper's great. I think she has a really, really good character, especially through the events that we get for her character scenes. She is the opposite of a that's it character. She had some really good character development. Plus, you get into the summer event we just had, and that was so good for her character too. Like, again, maybe going back and seeing some of these older events could really change my perspective on some of the characters that I haven't seen as much from. But Viper, I think, is a really, really great character, super attractive. I think personality-wise, compared to some of the others, again, if we're talking about this as the illicit commander relationship tier list, then that kind of explains why she's a little bit lower on the list. Not totally my speed completely, but I do really, 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 really like Viper as a character. 46th is Anchor, and I'm gonna be real with you, the Sukumizu is selling really, really hard. 45th is Ludmila, who I think is extremely attractive. I think her character is maybe not the best from the little I've gotten of it so far, but I think that she's a really good person, so I generally do really like her character on top of thinking that she's attractive, so there is that. But yeah, I guess there isn't too much more to say. I feel like I need to see much more of her. I think she was in the winter event last year. She was a focal character of that. So maybe going back and watching scenes from that could make me like her even more than I already do. 44 is D, and D Killer Wife specifically I just pulled recently, and I pulled 2 of. Wow, she is extremely attractive. I literally looked back at my list and I was like, she's 44th. Am I underrating her? Am I underrating Viper? Am I underrating Haran? They're so good. But then it's just no. It's like they're really, really good characters. It's just the fact that there are so many really good characters that there are ones that I like even more. But yeah, D Killer Wife is wow. I know that she's kind of like, we have your Forger at home, but I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be honest. I like D more than I like your Forger or your Briar, whichever you want to call her. Yeah, I prefer D to your. 43rd is La Criatura, or would it be La Creatura? But either way, Dorothy Dorororo. I think that she is extremely attractive, very, very hot, and also an extremely good character. So it kind of like, I don't know, I guess maybe that there are other characters that just fit my personal taste or my personal opinion from the scenes I've seen from them more so far, but yeah, I absolutely adore her as a character. 42nd is Moran, and honestly, she's really great. I really love her character. I really love her design. But after the other two members of her squad getting alts, swimsuit alts at that, and not only swimsuit alts, but the stories for them and their swimsuit alts were like really good. Plus, in general, the stories of the other two members of her squad are like really good. And in comparison, hers is a little bit weaker, I'll be honest with you. Like, after seeing that and the attention that the other two got, she really needs a little bit of something because her story was okay, but the story of the other two is really, really, really good at this point. 41st is Nero, and she might be carried a little bit by the physical design being so skimpy because she is very attractive, but also I thought her story, I'm really on the fence with it. I liked her story, but I did also think that her story was quite a bit that's it-y compared to some of the others. So I'm a little bit torn. I'm a little bit torn on her as a character, but I do like her personality, and physically she's great. 40th is Phantom, who is kind of a really, really new one, but her style of personality and her style of character design, I think to me, it kind of just fits my style and what I enjoy quite a bit. And again, her character from behind, that is not how I thought that those shorts, or what I thought were shorts, would work. So yeah, pretty nice. 39th is Mika, and I haven't even seen the event story for her, and I already love her enough to put her in 39th. She is so good. You get a kiss from her at the end of her little, character story thing, which is cute, and like, her entire story is just so good. Her story, her character conversations, to me, are just like way more gripping than Balorta's. I think hers are like really good. And yeah, I can't wait to eventually, finally, hopefully it'll come back around in the winter or whatever. If it's not already in the drawing pool, it might already be in the pool that you can draw from. But I really want to pull the SSR version for her, go through that character's like story scenes and everything, and spend one of the reels or whatever to go through the cutscenes for that event, because I really like Mika just already from what little I already have. 38th is Mary, and I'll be real, I haven't been through any of her stories or scenes or anything like that yet. So really, she's kind of getting carried by her physical appearance and general character from other characters' scenes. She's getting carried a lot by what little I know about her. So I actually haven't gone through that much deeply into her character. But I mean, she's attractive. 37th is Signal, and Signal is adorable. I think her design's really good. I think her character and the way she's obsessed with TV shows is really fun and has led to a lot of really fun scenes. I really haven't seen that much of her, but what I've seen makes me really like her. And her standing next to like literally any of the other Nikke, she is tiny. She is the microscopic little Nikke. So yeah, I can't wait to see more of her character in the future again. Maybe there's more in other scenes I just haven't gotten to yet. Time for another classic Haku hot take. We have Rei at 36th, and physically, but I think her character is so fun. I think that she's hilarious. I think the one like meme face she does, I think she's kind of carried by the meme face. But yeah, I actually really, really like Rei as a character. 35th is Privati, and Privati I started out really liking, and then I just kind of cooled on her as a character. I do have the alt, and I've gone through the stories with the maid alt as well, and yeah, she's just like pretty good. I really like everything about her. At first I was kind of like, wow, she's kind of better uppy, and then I was like, hold on, I'm kind of wrong about that. But yeah, she is just a very good character. 34th is Clay, and I really don't think there's much to say here because you can see it for yourself. Extremely attractive and really good character, just like everything about her, and that's pretty much it. 33rd is Guilty, and I'm using the swimsuit outfit to better show off the character. I don't know if the horny is jumping out of me and making this decision for me, but yeah, I might be overrating her a little, but I think she's attractive and her personality is my favorite. I do like, even though I haven't gotten Quincy yet, I do like her, but I think of the prison Nikke, she's probably my favorite personality. 32 is Neon, and honestly, she's really funny, she's really attractive. So yeah, between being a really funny character and a really attractive character, that carries her up here. Plus, honestly, I won't lie to you, the swimsuit under the clothes is, you know, kind of a charm point. It's kind of does it for me. 31st is actually a character that pops into my head pretty quickly when you ask me my favorite characters, and it's like quickly popping into my head, one of my favorites, and yet there are still 30 characters that I like even more, which is absolutely crazy to say, and that's Sakura. I think that base Sakura, very good character. But then after the swimsuit alt and after the beach event, it's like there was so much good character work there. Like her character was so good in that event that it kind of really catapulted a character that was already really great to being one of my favorites. And again, it's weird saying one of my favorites since there's still 30 more characters to go, but I really like Sakura. I think that the characters are just that good. Like, physically speaking, the characters in Nikke are extremely attractive, and I think a lot of people who get into the game say this. The characters are extremely attractive, so you start playing the game. It's like, okay, it's a waifu gacha. It's attractive characters. It's waifu Pokemon, essentially. So you get into the gacha that way. But then I think where Nikke hooks a lot of people is that once you get in there, because of the characters being some of the most attractive, you get into the game and you're like, wow, the story is actually like really good. So it's like the attractive characters hook you, and then the story just keeps you in there. 30th is Rouge, bottom of 777, but I absolutely like her personality a lot. I was going to say absolutely love her personality, but she does kind of just talk about luck a lot. It is kind of one note at times, but generally I really love her design. I think her design's amazing, and I think her personality is really good too. 29 is Brid, and let me tell you, she is carried hard by the side boob. I love her design. It's so good. I think that physically she is probably one of the most attractive. So you're balancing one of the most attractive physically characters with a personality that is good, a character story that is good, but not like great. So this is one of those where we've had characters before that, you know, great physical appearance plus great character, or like the character really carries it, or the appearance really carries it. Brid is really carried by the appearance. I don't think Brid's character is bad, but I think that if her personality, if her character was like A tier, then the S tier physical design would have probably carried her to like top 10. 28th is another that's really being carried by physical appearance. I think that 8 is super attractive, and I can't really say if the character is amazing or not just because I really haven't seen too many scenes with 8 in them. Like 8 really, to me, hasn't had a lot of inclusion in a lot of the scenes that I've seen personally, so I haven't really gotten too much of like her character, her motivations, her backstory. I haven't really gotten any of that personally yet, but I do think that she is a really attractive character. And her personality is good just from like the surface level. 26th is Alice, and honestly I think that she's another character that's attractive, another character that a lot of people would probably put a lot higher than 26th. She's in a lot of the marketing, she's a really good character, but she's another one similar to Anne where I would feel very guilty in a Commander Nikke relationship with her. I feel like mentally she is she's not quite there. She's she's a few dwarves short of Snow White. So, you know, I'd feel a little bit guilty about any sort of romance with her. 25th is Rapunzel, who's a character that I actually also just pulled kind of recently, but she's already this high up because even though her design is one of those pilgrim designs where there's a lot going on, I'm not super into the armor bodysuit stuff, I think that her personality carries her hard. Her personality is so funny. Like, she is so funny. I really, really, really love her personality more than most of the other characters. Like, when I think of the funniest characters, right now off the top of my head, she's up there. Anis and Neon are both up there. So she is one of the funniest characters, and that really carries her. God, I love one of the first scenes with her when, like, she borrows the commander's phone and she's like, oh yeah, I need to borrow your phone to text your squad or whatever. And she texts them, she's like, how is everyone's panties doing? And Rappi's like, what do you mean? She's like, I need picture confirmation. She is so funny. 24th is Exia, who is kind of, again, just a very self-explanatory gamer girl choice. Also, is it me or does she look a lot like Keisan? 23rd is Poli, and I really want to like Poli. I want to like her more. I want more. Like, give me more scenes of her. Give me more character development with her. I want to like her character more than I already do. I already like her a lot, but maybe it's because I already like her a lot that I just want more. 22nd is Rosanna, and I actually, you know what? I'll be real with you. I didn't think I was going to like her very much at first. Like, before she got the swimsuit alt and everything, I looked at her design and I was like, I don't know how I feel about her design. And she also, I don't think that she got as much. She did get some good character stuff, but I think in the beach event this year, I don't think that her character work was as strong as Sakura's, because Sakura's was like some of the strongest character work in all of Nikke, in my opinion. And then some of Viper's character work was absolutely amazing. And I think that Rosanna didn't really get as much character work as they did. But still, I go through the original Rosanna base characters stories. I go through this Rosanna's stories. Again, I'm not that far into them. I'm only rank 3. But even with those stories, I think that her character is just really deep and enjoyable, and I just really liked her character so much more than I thought I would at the outset. So yeah, she is a character that really, I didn't think I'd like from design alone, but then getting into her actual character paired with the design, plus getting the swimsuit alt, I'm like, okay, never mind, she is actually really good. 21st is Bae, who is, you know, physically extremely, extremely hot, extremely attractive. And character-wise, I think she has a very good character, even though her character is one of the lighter ones as far as Nikke goes, because we have a lot of really bleak, depressing stories, mostly with the main story, but even some of the character stories are really bleak and depressing. Meanwhile, hers is mainly just cheerleader stuff, so it's a lot lighter, but it's still good. So, you know, again, a good story paired with a good character design. 20th is Trony. I absolutely loved her event, and I have spent so much time with her on my wish list trying to pull for her and not until just finally recently getting her. So I really, really like the bit of her story that I've gone through so far. Again, I like the event that introduced her. I haven't been through the Elig event actually, because again, that was before I started playing, so I need to go back through past events that she may have been in. But from what I've seen so far, again, she's top 20 worthy. She is so, so good. And like, her personality, right up my alley. Her physical design, very, very good. Nikke's preeminent foot guy must have really spent all of his heart, his time on Trony, because all of her scenes and designs have her feet everywhere. So Nikke's preeminent foot guy was on the case. 19th is Rappi, and honestly, it is criminal. Absolutely criminal that we don't have an SSR alt for her yet. Not a real one, obviously, but her swimsuit skin is really, really good. Her base design is really good, again, now that it got updated and everything. I can't believe they went with that original design over what Rappi is now. She is just kind of the mascot of Nikke. She's a very, very good character. So yeah, I love her in pretty much every way. 18th place is Guillotine, and Guillotine was one of my early favorites when I first started playing. I really, really do like her character a lot. Physically speaking, there really actually isn't much to say. Physically, she looks good. Don't get me wrong, but she's not like, she doesn't really stand out physically to me. I don't think we've gotten any skins that like are like really showing off what she has or anything like that. So some more different outfits or scenes or something would be nice, but she is very much carried by her character. I think that her personality is really, really fun. I think that, again, she's one of the funniest characters. 17th is Marciana, and holy shit, she's hot. She is extremely attractive. On top of being extremely attractive, I absolutely love her character. I think her character is so good. So again, it's one of those where everything is S tier. 16th is Jackal, who's actually another character that I, like Rosanna, that I didn't think I would like at first. At first I looked at her design and I was like, there's kind of a lot going on with this design. I was like, I heard her voice and everything and I was like, I like her voice. Her voice is very good, but also who is this Himiko Toga, Harley Quinn wannabe? But then I got into her actual character, and I love Jackal's actual character. So it's like, physically she is attractive, sure, but physically there's kind of a lot going on for me personally. But where she like really kind of hits for me is her character. I really, really, and a lot of you might be like, her character's so simple. Why? I don't know why either. I really, 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 really enjoy her character. 15th might be a hot take that she's not even higher. It's Noir. Noir is, again, one of my favorites, honestly, but there are just ones that I like even more. I absolutely love Noir. Her character is so good. Again, I like that she had one of those stories with her, again, attractions, rank, like support ranks, whatever you want to call it. She had one of those stories that got into some good character development, but also leaned into the romance stuff, and I feel like the romance with Noir was really good. And then, you know, you get some three-way romance once you get Blanc up high enough too. And so yeah, I think that her character is one of my favorites character-wise, and of course physically she's super, super attractive. And again, I love her personality. It's just that there are other characters whose personalities I actually prefer. 14th is Tove, and oh man, the baseball outfit. The baseball outfit is like doing some work here. I already liked Tove though. I already liked her, but the baseball outfit just, you know, made me like her even more. I think her design's really, really great. I've always loved her design. I think her personality is good and has always been good, but I do want more. Her story is again one of those, it's not the worst offender, but it is a little bit kind of, that's it. So I do want a bit more from Tove in the future, but at least from what I've seen so far, I do really like her story. I just wish there was more of it. I wish we got deeper into, again, her backstory and stuff like that. So, you know, I want more from her in the future, but what we have right now I already really like. 13th place is Crown, and man, I really love Crown. She's so good. I like every single thing about her so much. Like, there is, from her character to her personality to her design, I love every single thing so much that it's just a matter of liking other characters even more. 12th is Tia, and yeah, once again, it's a character that I like everything about. I love her personality, and it's not really what you immediately expect it to be. Same goes with her character. I feel like her character was really good, and also not only in her own story, but in other characters' stories, she's there so often as this helping this supportive character. She's like been supportive and like really cool in so many scenes to so many of the other characters that it just really makes me like her, because she's just so nice and so good to people, and like she supports so many of the others so much that I'm like, wow, that really endeared me to her a lot. And then on top of that, physically speaking, holy shit. I've said holy shit a bunch. I've said the words hot or sexy a bunch. But man, Tia is nutty attractive. 11th is Litter for some reason. One of the best characters gameplay wise, but also one of the few just giant booby characters, one of the few smaller characters, one of the few, I guess Lolly, she's kind of like Lolly Baba character in the entire series. And series game, it's just a game. I really, really, really like her, but I want to like her more. I think physically she is very cute. She is attractive, sure. I want more though, and same goes with her character. Her character story was very, very that's it. Again, it does get into like the last part of it, the very last part. For like 4 parts, it's really like, what are we doing here? But then the last part gets deeper into her motivations, gets deeper into her backstory, and I think that that's really good. But again, that was just one part tacked on at the very end. And then after that's tacked on, it just kind of ends. And after it kind of ends, you're like, that's it? Come on, that's all? I really hope we get more in the future because I feel like compared to some of the others, she is of a rare breed and also of kind of, I don't know, kind of a flimsier character. Her character's good. It's just really existential. And and once you get into the existential stuff and you've heard it for like a bunch of scenes with her, you get to the point where like every time she's brought into a different scene with a different character, or anytime she's brought into like the story for any of the events or anything, it's just to get into existential stuff. And it's like, I've been here with you before, leader. I've been here with you before. So I kind of want more for her character than just the existential stuff, because that it feels like a lot of the time that's all you get. 10th is Miranda, another one of the, like, I like the ACPU characters in general, another hilarious character, one of the funniest characters, and on top of being so funny, her outfit, really, really nice, and holy shit, her thighs. Her thighs are insane. Her thighs are like each as big around as her torso. It is nuts. On top of that, the new skin she just got with the side booba window and everything, good. Very nice. 9th place is Mihara, who is kind of like, I have an SR this high. I love her character. She is kind of like, aside from what I was about to say, she's kind of the opposite of what you expect her to be. She is the very opposite of a Dami Mami, so to speak. She's extremely, extremely attractive, of course. But her character, her story just makes me really sad. She has a very sad character, but it's also, gosh, it's sad, but it's nice. It has a nice little message. I don't know, I just feel really bad for her. I really, really, really love her character though, and I think that she's one of the first characters that I really, really connected to when playing Nikke, and since she's one of the first ones that I felt that connection to as a character, that still, again, the first impression holds strong. I think that her design, you can definitely say there's a bit much going on, but beneath it all, she's just kind of a really good character. 8th place is Anise, and I know, don't crucify me. How could she not be number 1? I mean, hey, I don't have the swimsuit alt yet. Maybe that's a part of it. But again, she is extremely attractive. Her personality and story is one of the absolute best. There are just 7 other characters that I happen to like more. But again, my opinions change kind of a lot. And Anise is extremely, extremely attractive and an extremely good character. Again, maybe I need to get more into the main story. Maybe I need to get the swimsuit alt and see that, characters like support rank stuff. So, there's still more of her character that I haven't even seen yet, and already she's 7th. Or I meant 8th. 7th is Maiden. Maiden's incredible. I love everything about her. She's one of the most attractive characters. I love all of the different outfits and skins that she gets. They're all really, really good looking. And on top of being good looking, I like her story a lot, and her personality is one of the best. I love it because you look at her and whatever you think her personality is, you don't necessarily expect just a nerd. I love that she is just a nerd, really. I love that she likes fishing, which is kind of like weird and, different and out there. It's not really, fishing's pretty popular, but specifically you look at her and you don't think, oh, she really likes fishing. She's a fishing nerd. And then she really likes video games. She's a video game nerd. And then all of these other things that she is just kind of like, she has a bunch of hobbies and she gets passionate about those hobbies, and I feel like that's just an attractive quality, is somebody who just has all these weird hobbies you don't expect and they're really passionate about them. And so it makes Maiden's character scenes really enjoyable and fun. It makes her personality really enjoyable and fun. So I've ended up really liking her character. Sixth place is Blanc. Blanc is, again, one of the most attractive characters, period. Has an insanely good personality, a very good set of stories, and I like that they just make her openly horny. Like, instead of, there's so many scenes where it's like, oh, the commander's like playing around, like, oh no, I can't possibly hold hands or anything, or there's so many scenes where they shy away from that for whatever reason. It's like Nikke has so many very highly exposed characters that it's like, just stop playing around. Just be what you are. Just be what you are. Throw it all out there. And I feel like Blanc as a character does that. And I really respect that part of her stories. She is just kind of openly horny, and I'm here for it. So yeah, really like it. And openly, questionably incestuous and down for harem route. She's just great. She is really kind of best girl. And it's hard for me to like not even have her in the top 5 when she's kind of best girl. So she's really amazing. And I will say, before I get into the top 5, before I'm unveiling my top 5, I really would like to do this again, maybe at like the 2.5, because by then there are a lot of characters that I think are really attractive. Yulha, Grave, a lot of ones that I think are really attractive that I haven't been able to pull yet. And so many, I realized talking about the characters going through this, it's just now hitting me how many stories I just haven't seen yet. So I really want to go through more of those stories, more of the main story, obviously, more of the past event stories, because those event stories have some of the most detailed character development for these characters. So I really want to go through more of all of those. But with that aside, I'd love to do this again in the future. Let's talk about my top 5. 5th place is Frima. Every single thing about her does it for me. The outfit, the personality, the voice. Oh my gosh, her voice is so good. I really like everything about her. I guess her story, again, isn't as deep as some of the others, but I love every single thing about Frima. She is so good. I guess that's all I have to say about her, though, is that like literally everything is just perfect, and also I really also personally connect with. 4th place is the egg herself, the one who got me into Nikke to begin with. Extremely attractive in every way. Her personality does sometimes lean too much into just boom, and that's it. That's all she's got is boom, and installing boom into everything. But you know, once you kind of get past that veneer that's most of her scenes, there's a lot of scenes, especially in the events, where you get to see like how good of a character she is deep down with her personality and everything. I hope we dive even more into that in the future. Again, because I came in right after her event, I haven't seen that event scenes, and I'm sure those get deep into her character, so I would like to see some of those. But even what I've got so far, I think that she is really great. 3rd place is Dr. Pepper. I love her design. I love her story. I think that she is so great. And usually I'm not into like crazy anime hair colors like the pink hair, but Pepper is just such a good character that like she transcends that for me. So yeah, again, another situation where I don't have too much to say because everything's amazing. 2nd place is Ein. Ein is really great. I like everything about her. Again, her story isn't, I guess in a way it isn't that deep, but in another way it is. It's a very, I think, more relatable story, more down to earth story. It's not like just crazy, bleak, apocalyptic. It's more of what you yourself can understand, but then things do kind of get bleak and apocalyptic with her roles in other characters' stories, like in Zwei's story. But yeah, I think that every single thing about her is really great, and I really want more Ein stuff in the future. I want more in the future. I'm so glad she got added as a actual playable character and stuff, because I absolutely love her design. I love everything about her. I will say though, one thing about her is like whenever you're like talking to her or whatever as the commander and she is like talking, it's like, oh no. oh no, I feel like a YouTuber talking to her because the Zoomerisms, the talking about like school and homework, it's like, oh no, I feel like Drake. Number one is Senti. She's perfect. And actually, I thought about just cutting and ending the video there, but I will say, design-wise, physical appearance-wise, voice-wise, she's perfect. She is perfect. Especially the alternate costume. Let me throw that up, even though I don't own it. She's just perfect. How do you do better than Senti? She's so perfect. But one thing that I've run into, even though, you know, personality-wise, design-wise, she's pretty perfect. Character-wise, she's good. She is good. The issue that I run into, and I think she's actually better more in other character scenes than her own scenes, the problem I run into is she is one of those that you go through her her character stories, and some of the character stories are so deeply personal to some of the characters. They have this great character development. They have this great romance. You go through hers, and it's not super is that it, but it's kind of is that it. It doesn't get super deep into her character, really. I feel like it kind of does for her personality a little bit, but we don't get super deep into her character, and I want more. I want some backstory. I want some more motivation. I just want more character stuff for her. So I'm hoping that we get more focus on her, maybe in some events in the future, even if she doesn't get like a new skin necessarily or a new alt or whatever. New alt especially I don't think she needs, but even if she doesn't get a new skin or whatever, usually they do when they're important to one of the event stories. But I would love for her to get like how I keep mentioning the summer event did such good stories for Viper and for Sakura. I want some of these characters to get stories like that, where they're already existing characters and they are focused on and get an incredible time to shine in the story for one of the events. That's what I want for some of these characters. But yeah, like I said, I'll end things here, and I hope you enjoyed. I will try to do this in another 6 months, I guess, but either way, for now, hopefully I can pull Grave. Thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of my list. Tell me what your favorites are. Hell, give me your own list if you want to. Hell, make your own video, tell me about it, and maybe I'll share it. Anything like that. So, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server. That felt so non-committal. Maybe I'll share it. But that's because, you know, I don't know some of you. I don't know. Some of you might be a little crazy outside of Nikke. But yeah. You know, like, comment, subscribe, any of that. If you want to help support the channel to help me to continue to make videos by dropping a super thanks, it is appreciated. But if you want to get your name at the end of videos, if you want to get One Piece videos early, hit join down below to become a channel member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you to patrons and channel members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Holly, Magical Girls, FR Nono, JA and the D Band, Jerriton Students, David Langstaff and Folded Goal, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Pate Ardial. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.